Today near 40, lowest tonight going to get down to around 20 here in the Cedar City area. And the Jazz took a loss at the hands of the Boston Celtics last night at the Delta Center. The score was 123 to 107. Boston destroyed Utah 46 to 38 on the glass. Keontae George led the Jazz with 26 points and 6 assists. Colin Sexton 20 points. Jordan Clarkson added 21 points last night. I think if I came on the news and said, "Oh, there's an asteroid coming right for our location here in Cedar City," you'd be excited about it.
I don't know if I'd necessarily be excited, but I would know in my heart that I spent my time that I did have well.
Okay.
Because we have to love the moisture. I mean, it's southern Utah. We're in the high desert, meaning we get low precipitation relative to our square footage. You know, we get like in a few inches a year, where other places in the country get feet of water.
Snowpack's at 103% for us. We're fine here, okay?
Only 103.
Oh, good.
Only.
Oh, stop it.
And if you move 3 weeks from now and we don't have any moisture, then we go into 75%.
We're not done with moisture yet. Jeez.
I'm just saying it's a spot in the map that if you point to it, it looks good, and then you point to another spot and it looks okay. So good morning. This is McKenna Hansen, your host of Wired Wednesday. Thank you all for joining and tuning in to this show, because I'm really grateful that we have this platform that we can literally talk about anything. And one of my favorite things to talk about, well, before we jump into that, I had not heard of the equipment parade that BZI is hosting until I was here at the station. So one quick plug for them, they're putting on a construction equipment parade on Friday, 10 to noon, down at their Canaryville BZI office. Actually, just south of town.
The parade is here and then gets down there.
It gets down there. It goes,
yeah.
Oh my.
Nice.
Which, what better opportunity to show kids, preteens, and teenagers that all of the toys and all of the things on YouTube that actually, are there, like all the mining equipment, they're actually real, and we have them here in town. Not necessarily mining equipment, but...
Well, there's some of that.
Well, but I mean,
construction equipment.
All of the cool
My great hope is that
equipment.
the parade route comes right through this studio.
Well, that might be a little more damage than what we need.
I'm okay with it.
But what a cool opportunity BZI is offering our community in making sure that we are aware of the presence of what they're doing and the equipment that they're using to try and get young people involved, in a construction trade. Because as we all know, construction trades are short. Labor statistics are showing that we're, 30 years behind in trades right now. And so thank you, BZI, for putting that on. I really appreciate it. My kids are going to love this. And I've already invited a handful of friends. So
nice.
On Wired Wednesday today, what's really exciting is we get to talk about spring cleanup and springtime. We have Greg Orlowski from the Cedar City and Iron County Fire Department in studio. And one thing that I think we've done this 3 or 4 times now. Greg has been on the show a lot, and we love him. And it's really great because every year we have a new story.
Correct.
So how are the chicken fires going?
They're down this year.
Oh, good.
Fortunately, yeah.
So our radio show is working.
I think something's got the message out there to everybody. We did have one incident earlier in the year, possibly at the end of last year, but yeah, I think people are watching out for their animals in different ways now, so they're warming and doing things of that nature safely.
Good. And that's all we can hope to do.
Yes.
Because what's really important is if you're going to Cow Ranch and IFA right now and getting those chickens, they need a heat something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a heat lamp next to dry straw and in that old shed you have.
Yes. Or near the corner of the house. Yeah, we don't want to see that happen as well. So
one of my colleagues, almost I think 10 years ago now, she had them up against the house with the heat lamp next to her vinyl, and it burnt down the entire structure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I totally
happens.
forgot about that.
Yes, it happens.
So what have we been seeing in springtime? I mean, we are in the middle of March, but what have we been seeing from the fire department?
So one of the things that we touched on this morning is the moisture, and I think it's enabled us to start the burn earlier this year for iron and enoch. And then just on the cusp of that, we also have in April coming up is the spring cleanup for Cedar City. So we talk about that a little bit because in lieu of the burning here in town in Cedar proper, which we're sitting in the middle of right now in the studio, is the spring cleanup. So if you're able, I'll just go right into what I've got here today for both.
Absolutely. Let's dive right in.
So one of the things you'll want to do, you should receive this with your water bill, the information that I'm going to give you. So if you have it, or if you want to get a head start. So that's primarily why I brought this in today, even though you say, well, it's not until a month away, but now's the time to get started. So after the snow clears, look at your yard waste, things of that nature, and decide on how you want to bring it out to the street so it gets picked up. So
well, let's quickly define yard waste, because I know some people get confused. Construction remodel things are not yard waste.
that's correct. So what we call like your 2x4s and things of that nature that you've scavenged or what have you, that would be necessarily something that you'd want to take to the dump, which is free. So if you haul it off to the dump, they'll accept it. Or if you just set that stuff out by the curb, there's a lot of people that will pick it up just to put it in their fireplace or use for camping, which I do, things of that nature. So I'll go through some of the items that you cannot put out, but one of the main things is on the Cedar City website, which is Cedarcityut.gov. If you type in on the search bar, which McKenna's going to do right here.
Looking for.
Yes, we're going to look for spring cleanup. And it's going to take you into a list, and then the first thing that should pop up is Spring Cleanup 2024.
And you can download the file and save it so that you can keep it for those different things. There's also, is the garbage schedule the same thing?
That's just going into detail on some of the other overlap with the garbage pickup during that time.
Okay, so when you download this file, it'll populate and
you'll get the nice map that shows 3 areas. Perfect. And then it'll give you the dates for those areas and the specific information as far as the times that they'll run. The most important thing to consider is what is allowed and what's not allowed, and then what happens if you are late. If you're tardy with these times, they've moved on from your street, they're not going to come back. So don't get that idea, and maybe you might have to go into another area and find one of your friends or neighbors that will be willing to have some extra trash in front of their house. So area 1, April 8th through 11th, the north end of town, northeast end. Area 2 is everything west of the freeway, and that's April 15th through the 18th, and that goes up to 1600 north. So south to north 1600, and then area 3 is Center Street south and the freeway east. So those are generally the areas of the cleanup, and those are the dates, and that starts on by the end of the month, April 22nd in that area. So let's talk about some of the things that are allowed, some of the things that aren't allowed. So if you're looking to clear out something quite large, just consider that only one 10-wheeler load will be picked up at any resident. So again, you might have to share your waste with your neighbors if you have more than one 10-wheeler load, so consider that.
Well, for those of us, you know, that I'm like, I know what 5 cups of flour looks like. I have no idea what a 10-wheeler dump truck looks
So
like.
if you see the snow plows, they're on the front of a 10-wheeler dump truck. So it's quite large in the back, and you would really have to have quite a bit of trash to go inside of.
That's like a
fill
complete
it.
yard redo,
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, couple
Okay.
trees, yeah, some big items.
Okay, deal.
All right, so they must be in front of the curb on the street. They will not load if it's on the property, on your private property. Untreated wood, it does say here that they'll pick up brush, branches, clippings, leaves, grass, untreated wood, including pallets and crates, asphalt, dirt rocks, concrete, clean cardboard, and plastic pipe. I'm not sure what the specific thing is there for clean cardboard, but that's what it says. And they will not pick up appliances, large metal items of any kind, furniture, carpet, electronics, and especially tires.
So no
They-
tires this
no-
year. That's kind of a change.
Yeah.
In
I
the
know
past-
in the past, they've taken tires.
Well, and let's backtrack just slightly. The areas have changed slightly as well, because area 2 is from 1600 north south,
South.
and the freeway west,
The freeway west.
and that includes like Westview
Yeah,
Westview area. That includes the Talon and Eagle Ridge areas,
correct,
and then area 3 is the freeway east and Center Street south,
correct.
right?
So basically the foothills, basically where we're sitting right now.
Yep, and
Yeah.
then area 1 is Center Street north and 1600 north up to, it looks like 3000 north, which includes Fiddler's Canyon and those types of things, and some of the valley.
Bordering Enoch, right?
So tell me, if I'm not in those areas, then what do I do?
So if
Or
you're
what am I
out-
allowed to do?
Okay, so a good parlay into our burn situation. So if you so desire, any one of these areas that we've discussed, including Enoch has their own dump station at the city yard, and we're fortunate in Iron County overall to have access to the dump. And if you could get it there, it doesn't cost anything as long as you're taking your personal household items there, and that does include some of those appliances that we talked about. I know refrigerators, they want to have the Freon out of it, so you might have to have somebody come and do that first before you take it out there. The tires, they have an area for that. Pallets, they have an area for that. So they'll direct you once you get there and tell them what you have, but they don't want to see, if you're doing construction, they want to see your trailer full of construction waste and then multiple times, that kind of thing. So obviously they're gonna think that, all right, you're in business of some type and we're not gonna let you come for free. And they do charge for that, so there is a way to process that waste as well.
What's really interesting too is, you know, I love spring cleanup because sometimes my neighbors or friends of neighbors, right, have burn pits and they're burning, but they're associated with, let's say, city trash. So then people are confused of, I'm calling in this person burning in their backyard, and you guys get the call,
We do,
but then their address pulls up as being a county registered address.
correct.
So the map is vital in that, correct?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And if you don't receive a water bill, basically from the city, good chances are you're in the county. And you will receive a separate water bill and such.
And in
So-
some of those areas, these whiter areas, white
Pockets. Yep,
pockets,
yes.
are considered
Unir-
county,
Unincorporated, yes.
although they are in the,
Encapsulated by the city. Yes,
Right.
Yes.
which it just goes to clarify, your neighbor could or couldn't be in county or city.
Yeah, you might be right across the street from areas that are county.
But be a good neighbor and
That's
go and
correct.
talk to them before you call the fire
Right,
department.
right. It's a good
I would
idea.
encourage.
It's a good idea. If you actually call dispatch, they will have our list of people who are burning, and I'll get into that a little bit. So,
Oh, please.
yes, absolutely. So let's talk about the way to take care of a burn permit. So we've had incidents this year where people have not subjected to getting a burn permit online, which is a very easy process. I've got a couple of ways to do that, and I'll talk about a phone number that you could call as well if you don't have access to a computer. So it's very simple. So don't be the person that gets a tap on the shoulder by the sheriff which says, do you have a permit? Most of the time, if they're there already, they're going to be aware of what's going on because they have been either dispatched there or have notified dispatch to find out if there's a permit. And that's part of the process, and that's why we do that. So dispatch knows, we know, and then it's in the system that says, okay, there is a person burning in this area. We get calls from concerned citizens that say, hey, I see smoke coming from my neighbor's yard, I'm not sure what's going on. Like you had mentioned, sometimes it's grab a cup of coffee and go over and say hi.
Right.
So dispatch gets a call and they say, well, we do a smoke investigation. We do have a permit for that area. So we don't know if it's that specific person or persons in that area. So you usually have to go out and check. So we get there and we find out, yep, we got a burn permit, everything's great. So on the Iron County page, which I'll go through, and we could follow that. McKenna's going on there right now. So it's fire.ironcounty.net/departments/fire. Then it brings up a screen, and this gives you a lot of the information on what to do for the burn permit. So there's a tab on there that says more information at the bottom of the screen. And you could go in there, or you could pick on the
Apply for a burn
yeah,
permit.
apply for burn permit. Perfect. So we'll just go right down through and follow right through. All right. So once you get through that, then you're going to go in and you're going to select the county/agency, and you could either go. There's multiple. So if you're within the sound of my voice, Bryan Head, Enoch, Paragoula, Parowan, Iron County. So let's just say we're going to go into Iron County. The next screen that comes up, we'll talk about clearing index. So this is very important. If it says on the bottom of the screen there, and it gives you the 3 days worth of burn, if it says cannot burn, that's indicating that the clearing index is too low. So people wonder what the clearing index is. And on the middle of the screen, McKennan's looking at it right now, clearing index. You could select that and it'll take you to the DAQ screen that shows that information. And it's part of the National Weather Service. And we're in, go back up there for a second. Sorry, we're gonna talk about clearing indices right there. And there it gives you the information. And then if you go by airshed, we're in airshed 2. So right now it shows airshed 2, and it looks like we're all the way across the board very good. So what that means, people ask us, well, what's the clearing index? So if just during the day it looks like it's clear, but you see a haze, Salt Lake's more subject to this than we are, but it means basically whatever is coming up out of the atmosphere is not going out. It's just hitting the ceiling, and it's going to go horizontal. So,
which creates smog and a bunch of bad quality air.
That's correct. Yeah. So we don't have any wind that's carrying that aloft. So it's going to just sit there and hang in our valley. And you do notice that some days in the morning, if you see people are burning their wood burning stoves and the smoke's just not going up, that's because the clearing index is not above 500. It's down in the 200s or single digits. So that has an effect on the burn process. So that's why it will say you can't burn that day. So if it says, yep, you could burn, and you want to burn on a certain day, then you just hit on the bottom, start burn permit application.
Well, and what's really helpful about this entire thing is it says open burn permit, and it has a $0 cost. It's really, truly an easy process.
Yeah.
Or there's a phone number, because what we're trying to get out of this is just making sure people are aware of what's happening in the valley.
Absolutely.
Right? We're not trying to, and granted, I'm not a part of the fire department, but I would say it's not trying to micromanage, more bring awareness to.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're not trying to manage this. In fact, if anything, we're getting out of that, because we used to take all this information by phone every day through this burn permit cycle. So now it's become simpler online. You fill this out. At the very end, you've got a permit number, and we'll talk about what to do with that, and then how to go about the burn process and what you can and cannot burn and when.
So let's go through that really quick because we only have about 1.5 minutes left.
Oh, shoot, okay, so we wasted a little bit of time, but, okay, once you fill out the burn permit and get the number, there's two things you need to do. You need to call the dispatch office, 435-586-9445, each day that you burn, and also, each day that you burn, you need to call the fire department, 586-2964, extension 1, and then go in and put the information down that you have on the permit, which is the number, and then where you're burning, and when you're going to burn, and then we just give you some information. Okay, the wind's coming up tonight, or things of that nature. Make sure you have it out by dark. We don't like to have it burning past dark, and then make sure it's not left unattended. Some of the calls we get, which are situations where the farmers are always burning their ditch banks this time of year. They might have a mile of ditch bank that they're burning, but it looks like on one end it's unattended. They're actually somewhere else on that ditch bank and they're burning, and that's where people call in and say, well, it doesn't look like there's anybody out there. There usually is.
Right. Greg, I love and appreciate everything that you bring to this show, and when we go over all of the fire awareness things, because it really helps educate our public and making sure that we're doing the right things to make sure that us as a community are functioning more cohesively.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us for Wired Wednesday. And hi to my children really quick.
So, like, when the high schools or the college want to do, they even doing bonfires anymore?
They do call the station to do a bonfire, and there's a couple things that we go through with them to make sure that these things are taken care of properly, and that they have a safe bonfire if they want to participate in that type of
But that's
activity.
still something we can do?
There is not as frequent as we used to have, but yeah, they do it. There are also types that they just maybe drive around for a minute and get some pallets and take it out west. Those are not quite authorized.
No, and in fact, you'll get a hard knock on the sheriff.
Yes.
Or a hard shoulder knock by the sheriff, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, Greg, for
Thank
joining us
you.
for Wired
Appreciate
Wednesday.
it.
We appreciate the information. Have a great morning, my children, and enjoy the day off of school.
Not your child.
No, but my kids are listening to the radio show today,
right,
so I can
yeah.
say hi.
Why aren't your kids in school?
Because Iron County is off
Is
from
it spring
today,
break?
tomorrow,
Okay.
and Friday. No, I don't even know why they
Easter
don't have
break,
school.
early Easter break.
Early Easter break, and then spring break is in another couple of weeks.
Okay.
Anyways, this has been McKenna Hansen with Wired Wednesday, your local Farm Bureau financial insurance agent at 435-592-2021. And I am also with the Larkin Group at KW Realty, 435-592-2021. Or you can go Cedarcityut.gov.
One last time, quick check of what's happening on the highways.
Awesome.
Captain Craig is here with our final
get
update.
to-
Mr. Bennett, what are you
get
seeing
to
out
the
there this
number.
morning?
Oh, shoot.
So if you want to add that,
Yes.
that is the way to call in and get the burn permit via the phone.
Okay.
So they take all this information from you,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll do the submission.